round 2 of the VCO LFM FLExTREME series run on Assetto Corsa Competizione, thanks to Next Level Racing, Male, HyperX, Singrid, and our other partners. After a very compelling beginning to the Rivals category at the Circuit of the Americas, it's time to head to Monza for another 9-hour race among our wonderful GT3 machinery. It's always good to have an innovator who gets onto the dries early, because you can take a look at their lap times afterwards. Here comes the BMW of Gutmann. Can't quite look up the inside of Basinski on that occasion. The Full Boost Racing Aston Martin safe for another couple of corners. Now the question is, who and how many cars will dive into the pits this time? We've seen the likes of Chartier in the Honda into the pit lane already, so cars from the top 5, the top end of the order, have pitted. Oh, and contact there as Basinski and Gutmann fight over a similar piece of tarmac. Do either of them come in? I think both are going to press on, but running out of room there at Ascari as we see more of the front runners in. Yes, he has. Yeah, so the Aston Martin moves down to third place there. He's going to worry about the similar machine now of Marcin Basinski. Of course, the BMWs are still fueling as well. Kevin Kruger for the LightSpeed team to the inside, or rather to the outside, of Igor Ornt. And has a nose ahead. He actually gets the car stopped for the chicane on this occasion. They're still side by side. They've got Sivek behind them as well in the Aston Martin, so they've got a lot to worry about right now. Kevin Kruger, though, with a nose, a bonnet. Oh, make that a full car, just about ahead as they approach Curva Grande. Through Curva Grande they go towards Della Roggia, and it's still just about a nose ahead for Kevin Kruger. Surely he's got 12th place sewn up on this occasion. Not if Igor Orns has anything to do with it. Igor tried to keep the nose in. He's also got to worry about Sivek behind him in the Aston Martin. It's become a 3-car scrap, and it's now Kevin Kruger into 12th place. Oh, so for the second time today, the wipers are on, or at least the circuit is getting damper, and this is going to be very compelling now. How long is the rain going to fall? And who is going to be first into the pit? Of course, Neil Scherer was the very first driver to pull the trigger for wet tyres, and he is rejoined the race in 5th place where he was pre-pit stop. So he actually hasn't profited in that much of a significant manner. And he's actually joined now on circuit by the ever-challenging Frederick Gutmann, who started this car, was out of the seat and is now back in. So second stint of the race for Gutmann, and he's looking to try and get himself into the top 5 in the LightSpeed BMW.
Yeah, that was a bit clumsy there.
Well, he was. Frederick Gutmann under pressure from Russell Reyes there, who's up his inside and into 3rd place, as that was a change we saw for 3rd position on board there, as the stealthy black NSX made its way past Frederick Gutmann. The LightSpeed by MC-Schaumburg entry drops down to 4th position then. Russell Reyes got through there. Yeah, no, exactly right. Russell Reyes, though, through into the lead then, so he has managed to make it stick. And Aningwe now will watch on, although he won't be able to retaliate necessarily, as he has come into the pits, and so has Frederick Gutmann, who was directly behind them in 3rd place. So I think 2, now 3 cars, Miato in as well. I reckon they might have all decided, you know what, I think it might be worth a fresh set of wets here. So then as we hit that 4-hour marker in just 10 seconds, it is Dapper Ardianza pressuring our race leader, Frederick Gutmann, at the moment. The 77 car, the BMW M4 GT3, always looks imposing in the mirrors, but it's the mirrors the BMW driver is having to utilise most of all right now. Ardianza up the inside, going into the Variante Ascari, and that was really textbook stuff. Dapper Ardianza set that up, coming out in 2nd. Lesmo got way more pace than Gutmann, who I think just troubled the grass a little bit on the exit of Lesmo too. No, not as heavy, but certainly everyone is coming into the pits. Glatter is in, Lindner is in. Nabil is practically the only driver who hasn't come in for the top 10 now. Dapper Nabil has continued on his merry way. Manuel Stalder is also continuing, and that again makes me question as to whether he's on the wet tyres or not, because if he has actually been able to pop himself onto the wets, that is amazing fortune for him. Stalder, who is our race leader for now by dint of some very clever strategizing, but Glatter and that Venari 27 crew want the position that they feel is rightfully theirs, and that's the race lead that they've held practically an iron claw over for the duration of this race so far. They power out of the final corner, and Glatter's got the run. Can he challenge going into the first chicane?
Yeah, Glatter's got the run, and I think what Stalder going to do is going to go to the inside and defend him. I'm very surprised he never went to defend on the inside, but I think he maybe he realises that Glatter's the quicker driver.
Yeah, I think that's very mindful driving there from Stalder, realising that probably not much is going to come of having to very heavily defend that position. He knows what he's doing. He backs out of it, going into Parabolica, gives himself the optimal run, but he does have maybe a car length or so between himself and Stalder, and does he regain that car length in the tow on the run towards Rettifilio? Certainly, it looks like he's closing in. The Mercedes draws closer, closer, and closer yet again, and Stalder doesn't put up that much of a fight. He maybe wants the inside for the second element of the chicane. This time, Lindner goes deeper into the corner. He gets the block pass done, and Lindner is your leader for Garage 991. Bastian Lindner with a very, very clever move there. He went slightly deeper into the corner that time than he did on the previous lap. He made sure he got into the turn before Stalder could turn in around the outside of him. Well, Manuel Stalder and the LightSpeed by MC-Schaumburg team may have once again proven to be the wisest people with a weather radar anywhere in virtual northern Italy right now. We've got less than 55 minutes of this race to go. They've stayed out there. The question is anyone else moving on to wet tyres? We'll find out soon enough if someone scurries back into the pits again 2 or 3 laps post-pit stop. But Nils Schurer has taken over the 991 car for this final stint then from Bastian Lindner. And the question is, what rubber does he have attached to his car? Now the question for Nils Schurer, our second place car now, is just how spent are those wet tyres underneath him after effectively running in the drive for the last 20 minutes. It doesn't take much to make wet tyres not very good at being wet tyres. And look at that, Stalder is in. Stalder is in. If you ever need a vote that there is indeed rain falling and that it's affecting the grip, it's that Stalder has had to pit with 26 minutes left of the race. And for now at least, Nils Schurer is leading for Garage 991. At the 73 camp, the all-Italian Audi, it's got Miato at the wheel once again, and Nils Schurer is in. Nils Schurer is into the pit lane. I was going to comment that the times kept tumbling in favour of Manuel Stalder, and the LightSpeed by MC-Schaumburg car is back into the race lead as Schurer limps into the pit lane with a set of defeated wet tyres that have clearly gone bald in amongst those dry conditions. You can't run wets in the dry for a long time without it going against you, and we're certainly at a point with this rainfall that you need fresh wets on the car. Manuel Stalder for LightSpeed by MC-Schaumburg. They're just a few corners away, but nothing's guaranteed in these conditions, right, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing's sealed until you get to that finish line and the second flag, and especially in these conditions, anything could go wrong in this last lap, and it's happened in real life.
Just one corner remains, and it is the almighty Parabolica. Manuel Stalder has done this 279 laps before. This is lap 280. It's the most important run through Parabolica, and he has made absolutely no errors. Manuel Stalder had a few heart-in-mouth moments in the final hour, but LightSpeed by MC-Schaumburg Racing take the win. The 77 BMW has endured 9 hours of Monza, and the reward is a race victory. And off at the very back there, it's Neil Schurer. That's third place. Surely not in the last lap. Yes, Fleety has gone past. The podium will change at the very end. It's Glatter who takes second place for the Venari Racing. The 27 crew have done enough to secure second place, but in the very final braking zone of the last lap, Sam Fleety and Cracked Racing have secured a podium. Neil Streur will not be able to sleep tonight. The Garage 991 crew worked so hard, they were so quick today, and a podium was beckoning, but at the very last corner, they've lost out and dropped down to 4th place there.